Alrighty, tonight I am joined by Farzin Vousoughian. I just got on tongue-tied a few months ago, so I'm trying to get better with my how to pronounce pronunciations and everything else, even at age 46. So, but yeah, located right out of Kansas City, diehard Chiefs fan. I've had you on before, and yeah, just amazing, just awesome that you. Thanks for making the time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, I had fun the first time. I remember that. I want to say it was about a year ago or so. So yeah, man, I appreciate you having me back on.
Yeah, no worries. And you had a podcast earlier today too, so you're going back to back, and mine was in the morning, but you're a lot closer.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've actually this has been like one of the busier weeks of podcasting. See, I thought I was gonna have like a really quiet January. It's been the exact opposite. I think it's actually been more busier without the playoffs than with the playoffs, which I did not see coming. Listen, I think as a content creator and a podcaster, you have to expect the unexpected.
hmm
And unfortunately, we definitely got the unexpected in January. But fortunately, it's still been pretty busy. I mean, a lot of people tuning in, and I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Um, the podcast has grown so much. Usually, guest interviews don't do too well, and we just had one tonight with JJ Burden. Tomorrow morning, we'll have Kendall Gammon on, and we might be getting one more this week. But no, I really appreciate people like you, everyone else who's been supporting. It's definitely meant a lot for sure.
Definitely. I gotta ask you, do you have other people working behind the scenes? Or is it
Yeah, a
just
little
you?
bit. I'm doing a majority of the work, but there are a couple people who help me out with content, photo editing and whatnot. But
Mm,
a majority of the heavy work does come from me. Anything that gets here's what I've learned when people have a social media manager. Um, First off, you're lazy as hell. Second of all, um, my whole thing is yes, I do have people helping me out with my social media, but at the end of the day, like whatever comes out, I approve of. Because I've seen people
mm.
who someone else allegedly posts something for them, and then they're like, "Oh, my editor did that. Sorry, I don't believe this." Once, and you say that after you get all these controversial hate comments, whatever. But no, it's a small group of people for sure who help me out.
Good deal. Yeah, I have a few admins that help me out as well and just approve the posts. I have one guy that's
Yeah,
2 hours behind, so it helps with the West Coast
yeah.
and that sort of thing. And yeah, again, just try to keep it all pure sports and that direct message and everything else. And as the group has grown now to 1,200, and,
Nice.
thanks. Woohoo. You have to be a bit more mindful of this sort of thing because people are watching. When you're recognized kind of in public and people phone you for interviews about new hockey rinks that open in communities like Steinbach's, you kind of have to be aware of that and that sort of thing. So
It helps that one of your admins is 2 hours behind because all of these head coaching hirings, a couple of them have come at like midnight almost. I'm like, come on, man.
I
Why do you
know
got to
it
announce them
was
so late?
it was kind of nuts. And Shay, if you're watching this, I woke up at 1:30 in the morning on the couch and approved some posts and. That would have been 11:30 his time, but all's forgiven. Good, good. So again, lots of stuff going on with the Chiefs, even though they're not playing.
Yeah.
You had a chance to go to Las Vegas to watch that final game. Had the chance to be on the sidelines to meet Andy Reid's wife and Clark Hunt's wife pregame I saw. So
Yeah.
how was that experience? And did you kind of go because maybe you think it's Kelsey's last that would have been his last game?
No, so I've gone to the last three games in Vegas. So long story short, I know this is not at all what you asked, but just growing up over the years, when my brother and I were kids, our parents took us to Vegas a couple times a year.
Mhm.
So the running joke is a lot of parents took their kids to Disney World. My parents took my brother and I to Vegas, and it's been pretty cool. I mean, it's sometimes I'll go on my own. Sometimes it'll be just be my brother and I. Sometimes my whole family and I will go. My parents, my brother and I, and the Chiefs had invited me, and I'll keep conversations private.
Hmm.
But Andy Reid's wife, Tammy Reid, she knew who I was. I was shocked. I've never shared the story publicly, but I'll share it with you. Um, my family was at a distance, and Tavia wife, super super nice lady, and she was the one who actually invited me on the field. Um, I've gotten to know her a little bit, and I did not want to ask for too much because hell, for her to invite me on the field was a huge deal. And I asked her, I said, "Hey, my mom is a huge fan of your Instagram." And I just asked if she could wave to her, and she's like, "You should have told me. I would have invited all." I'm like, I didn't want to ask for too much, but she's a sweet lady. But Tammy Reed, she walked up to me, and she basically knew who I was, and she said, "You're Farhen Vousoughian." And then she goes, "I know that's not how you pronounce it." And I chuckled, and I don't even remember anything else from that conversation. It wasn't a very long conversation because my family was asking. They're like, "What did she tell you?" I'm
Hmm.
like, honestly, after that, I don't know. I blacked out. Like the wife's coach knows who I am. That's pretty crazy.
That
Like,
is.
and I will say this, because I've had the opportunity to interview some of the current players. I've been able to talk to a lot of former players over the years.
Hmm.
Those guys are much easier to access than current players. But whenever I went to interview a current player at Chicken and Pickle Sports Bar here in KC, um, through the Huddle Show, and a shout out to Team Lammy for allowing me to do that. We kind of had a nice little partnership this year. A couple of the guys actually knew who I was. They're like, "Oh yeah, I've seen your content." I'm like, "Well, okay, like sweet." Um, so yeah, it's been pretty crazy. It's been a wild ride. Listen, man, I'm thankful. I'm blessed to be able to have to the opportunity to connect with some people within the organization, and the fact that some people in the organization know me. Like I did not even that wasn't even a thought. But I think it just goes to show, like, when you do a lot of content and you have a good following, they're aware of you. They may not like everything you have to say, but as long as you're fair about what you say, they can certainly, at the very least, maybe appreciate it. And I certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, I completely get you. I was at a Blue Bomber event here. I was tasting the Blue Bombers. I see the defensive coordinator, Jordan, if you're watching this, and he gives me a hug, and then I introduce him to my wife, and he goes, "Yeah, you're consistent with your stuff," and it's even stuff with the
Oh, hell
curlers.
yeah.
Just here as like one of the curlers liked the post, and yeah, she's been on, but it's like, yeah, they know who you are, like. And the money. I mean, yeah, kind of that's kind of how it is.
I,
And so you started yours, what, 2003-ish, right?
uh,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
2007 is when I started the podcast, and then my Facebook page started in '09. So yeah,
Yeah. So steady as it goes, right?
for sure.
It's good. I guess we can, yeah, let's just let's keep going with the Chiefs here, and then we can dive into the weekend.
Yeah,
What is old again comes around again in Eric the Enemy, offensive coordinator. What are your thoughts?
I like it. I'm seeing a lot of mixed comments about this, a lot of mixed reactions, and that's kind of a surprise to me.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people have been saying that they want something new, someone young. And I've also seen people say, well, it doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator is because Andy calls the plays. Well, that's true. Andy does call the plays. And the reason, because there's been some confusion, like who really calls the plays. NFL Network put out a report right before the end of the regular season, right before that Raiders game we were talking about. Um, they put out a report that if Matt Nagy does not get a head coaching job, he's going to go somewhere else to be an offensive coordinator to where he's also going to be the play caller. Like that should give you a strong indication Andy Reid's a play caller. It's never been Eric Bieniemy. It hasn't been Nagy. I know there have been a couple of times, like in 2015 when the Chiefs started 1-5, they handed off play calling duties to Doug Peterson. They also did that for a little bit with Nagy in 2017. That led to both of them getting head coaching opportunities, but I digress. So look, the way I see it is like this. The last 3 years, the Chiefs have never been higher than ninth in total offense. and they've never been higher than 15th in points scored each of the last 3 years. Under Eric Bieniemy, they've been in the top 6 in total offense and points scored. That's not a coincidence. And the very first game, Nagy was the offensive coordinator. What'd you notice? They started dropping passes. We had a lot of those wide receivers a year before in 2022. They weren't dropping passes. All of a sudden in 23, drops are a thing, and they've been a thing the last couple of years. Last year, not so much. This year, it kind of came back middle of the season. That was out of nowhere. Even Andy Reid said in one of his press conferences on a Monday, he's like, I don't know where these drops came from. And I'm sitting there like, I'm with you, coach. I don't either. Like that kind of came out of nowhere. So the thing about Eric Bieniemy is this guy does hold guys accountable. Look at all these repeated mistakes we've seen. Jawan Taylor, 55 penalties in 3 years. The drops, wide receivers lining up offside twice. It happened with Kadarius Toney, and it happened with DeAndre Hopkins in his first game as a Chief. Like those repeated mistakes never happen with Eric Bieniemy. So I think we're going to have a much more disciplined offense and a much better offense in the future. So I love it. A lot of people don't. I don't get it, but I'm glad the Chiefs went this direction. And you can tell this is what they wanted because as soon as the Bears lost on the 19th, which was yesterday,
Mhm.
that's when a lot of assistant coaches were officially available because even though Nagy was not under contract, technically that contract still goes until the 19th. So there's a weird rule as to when you can do in-person interviews. But yeah, that's a big reason why I know it's not official, but it will be soon. That's why the Chiefs waited for the Bears to lose. Bieniemy became available. That's the guy they wanted the entire time.
Right. Do you think they kind of regret letting him go, or did he want that other opportunity? You know, he went to the college ranks and, the verdict's out why he doesn't get a head coaching job, and that's another kettle of fish. But it just seems like watching this offense with the Chiefs, and particularly this last year, was just so hard. It's just hard and just not happening.
Well, let me back up a bit. They didn't necessarily let him go. He
Okay.
chose to leave. He kept re-signing a 1-year deal because he kept thinking he was going to become a head coach. The Chiefs were more than willing to have him back. The problem is he went to Washington because he had to prove himself. Here's my theory. Teams were not willing to give him a head coaching job because he's surrounded by Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill for a majority of the time. And so I think head coaches were like, yeah, we don't think it's really you. I said head coaches. Sorry, I meant owners. They didn't feel like it was him. They're like, yeah, we're gonna go elsewhere. And I don't think that's fair. I mean, listen, Josh McDaniels, who continues to go back to New England and does a great job for the longest time. I mean, let's be honest. They weren't winning because of Josh McDaniels. They were winning because of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick there.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's not a knock on McDaniels. I still think he earned those opportunities, but um, listen, he had to go prove himself away. And unfortunately, he went to two bad situations. And let's be honest. Yeah, sure. Washington and UCLA, they weren't great with him. UCLA was not great after him either. Washington, yeah, they got a little better when they got Jaden Daniels, and then they kind of went back to being mediocre, I guess. As far as your comments with the offense this year, yeah, it was extremely frustrating. Maxwell Hairston, a rookie on the Bills, was like, yeah, I knew they were going to go with that quick bubble screen to Xavier Worthy, so I blew that up. The Rashi Rice slant quick pass there, Derwin James blew that up twice.
Yeah.
I mean, Rashi Rice got ran over, got destroyed.
Yeah.
Like you had a repetitive offense and damn near everything was telegraphed. And unfortunately, the deep pass wasn't there either. And that's on Mahomes. There were just so many issues with the offense, as you kind of said. It got stale. Things just weren't working suddenly. That's why I'm hoping with Eric Bieniemy, not only can you get Mahomes to be more accurate, not only can you get the receivers to run better routes, not only can you get guys to not commit 55 penalties, I just think you're going to see a much more mature and disciplined offense. And by the way, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Remember that 2023 season opener against Detroit? There was a situation where Jerick McKinnon and Richie James was a punt returner for the Chiefs that year for a few games. they almost collided into each other, and that led to a drop in that game.
Yeah.
And then this year, Travis Kelsey and Xavier Worthy, they run into each other, and that forced Worthy to be at a couple of games. There was a situation, I can't remember which game it was. I want to say Houston, but don't quote me on that. Rashi Rice and Juju Smith Schuster, they almost collided. So
Yeah.
Juju, being the veteran that he is, got the hell out of the way to prevent something bad from happening. Because that would have been possibly 2 years in a row. Rice would have had a bad injury due to friendly fire.
Yeah.
Like,
The Chargers
what
game was
routes
huge.
are
Yeah.
like what routes are you designing to where you're having guys go close to each other?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that gets thrown away because I never saw that with Eric Bieniemy.
Well, now I mean I make fun of it a bit, but I mean, anytime you played Madden, if there was two receivers, Madden would always say, "Well, that's not how it's drawn up," and like that shouldn't be drawn up that way. That's ridiculous. And
Yeah,
that the season opener there, you speak to the Kelsey and Xavier Worthy play. I was out at the grocery store. My boss texted me, "What's with your guys running into each other?" And then I saw it. I just couldn't believe it, right? And this year, they're like 1-7 in one score games. And then
yeah.
prior to, last year was the reverse. And then I think the wheels kind of fell off after the Houston game on the Sunday night. I think it went another 4th and 2. Houston's not moving the ball. I think, yeah, maybe if they win that game, they're in, but I think it still would have been an uphill struggle. Um, was it just it just wasn't their year? Obviously, all good things must come to an end, but I don't think the run's over by any means.
No, no, it's definitely not over. I mean, look, uh, here's another thing I'll throw out there. This is not related to anything you just said, but um, people have been saying for a couple of years now, they keep saying that the Chiefs are going to start slowing down because they're tired and they keep playing into late January and February every year. They've essentially played an extra season with all of these additional playoff games. I don't know exactly what the number is.
Mhm.
I guess you can just take Patrick Mahomes. What? Let me Google that real quickly. Patrick Mahomes playoff record is 17-4. So they've played 21 games. That is the length of week one to the Super Bowl, essentially.
Mhm.
So they've played exactly an extra season over these last 7, 8 years. And maybe now it's catching up to them because I've been told that it's going to catch up to them. I'm like, well, they keep winning. So I don't know when this theory is going to finally happen. Maybe you're just throwing darts and hopefully one of them hits the bullseye. I don't know.
Mhm.
So I think that's played a big role. But here's the other thing I will say to self contradict myself. I don't think them playing into February, like, I don't think fatigue for playing so late every year is always a factor because I'll give you the Denver game, the first Denver game. Travis Kelsey scores a touchdown and they're up 19-16 early in the fourth quarter with about 11 or 12 minutes to go. And then the Broncos immediately punt the football back. The Chiefs have a chance to go up by 10 points. They don't get a single first down the rest of that game. Denver gets 2 field goals. They crawl their way back to tie, and they crawl their way to have a walk-off game-winning field goal. Like, you couldn't get a single first down while you had the lead or to tie. And that killer instinct, that ability to put teams away was not there this year. That's got to come back. And I think a majority of that has more to do with Andy Reid's play calling than who the offensive coordinator was. But I still think the offensive coordinator's got to have a strategy to where, okay, because they practice all these situations, and you know this. When we're, tied with 5 minutes to go, here's how we're going to go about things.
Yeah.
And they just look like a deer in the headlights. So hopefully it's better. I'm sure you saw this, but Nate Taylor of ESPN mentioned the wide receivers coach who got let go. The receivers were frustrated with him. Like, that should tell you how frustrating it was on the offensive side. There were a lot of things behind closed doors that we just weren't aware of. And hopefully with the enemy coming back and the new receivers coach, Chad O'Shea, hopefully the receivers make some progress because they've invested a lot of early draft picks. Guys like Xavier Worthy, who's a first-round pick. They traded up to get him. Rashi Rice was a second-round pick. Jalen Royals was a fourth-round pick, but a guy who has some potential. Hopefully they bring back Tyquan Thornton, who's got serious potential. Like, you've got good players.
Yeah.
They just weren't led by the right coaches on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, I mean, Thornton there, he had that awesome touchdown versus the Eagles. I think that was in the week 2 to give him, and then,
Yeah.
Kelsey, muffs the pass there, and Eagles go down,
Mhm.
and it's the little things that do add up.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure they're going to get it right. So the draft will be in Pittsburgh this year, with the Chiefs holding number 9. That is kind of crazy. Who do you think? What position do you think they're going to draft for?
There are a couple of good edge rushers. David Bailey from Texas Tech, and then if you watched the game last night, Ruben Bain Jr. from Miami. I know the knock on him is that his arm length isn't big. I don't know, man. I'm not really too big on those kinds of measurements. All I know is this dude is huge. Like he really does remind me a lot of Tamba Hali. I mean, and Kirk Herbstreit said last night on the broadcast, the offensive tackles had a difficult time with Ruben Bain last night.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen people mention Jordan Tyson. I'd be shocked if the Chiefs went for another wide receiver with a first or a second round pick because they've done it twice in the last 3 years. I'm not going to say no to Jeremiah Love. I think that guy he's got serious talent as a running back. Would the Chiefs take a running back that early? It's a valid question. I'm seeing people say that because of Clyde Edwards-Helaire that they're not going to do that. I disagree. I don't think they're going to not draft a running back because they had a bad experience with somebody else before. That just doesn't make sense. If there's a really good running back that you think will make a difference for you, you take him at number 9. Now, I'll say this. I don't think Ruben Bain Jr. and Jeremiah Love will be available at number 9. Like, if it was up to me, I'd say number 1, Ruben Bain Jr., number 2, Jeremiah Love. If they are both somehow, or even one of them, available at 9, that'd be a miracle. I would love to see Ruben Bain on Kansas City's defensive line with Chris Jones, Karlaftis, Gelati, part of your rotation. Hopefully Mike Pennell comes back. I think he's underrated. But man, if you get Jeremiah Love, I would not be upset about that either. I think that'd be massive for Kansas City's offense, and I would love to see Kareem Hunt come back because he's great for those short yardage situations. If you bring back Kareem Hunt and you have Jeremiah Love, I think you can have a duo kind of similar to what Detroit has, and maybe kind of similar to what the Chiefs had in 2010 with Jamal Charles and Thomas Jones when they ranked first in rushing that year as a team. I would not be opposed to that at all, but I'd be very shocked if either one's available at 9.
Do you think they put out Pacheco as some trade bait?
I don't think so because he's not under contract.
Okay.
If there's anyone that they will put for trade bait, it'd be Trent McDuffie. Now,
Yes, I've heard that.
yeah, he is a popular trade candidate. Now, when do you trade him? Do you hold on to him during the draft? It's a little risky.
Yeah.
Or do you take a deal in March when negotiations are happening before the new league year begins or sometime shortly after the new league year begins? I don't know. My theory has been with McDuffie, I think you can get either a 1 and a 4 or a 2 and a 3. And I know what some people listening might say. The Colts gave up 2 1s for Sauce Gardner. Don't expect every team to do that. The reason the Colts did it is because they were on a roll this year. And when Daniel Jones went down, they desperately went and got Phillip Rivers. The reason they got Phillip Rivers, number 1, he is familiar with Shane Steichen. Number 2, they invested so much on this team. Jonathan Taylor going and giving up 2 firsts for Gardner. Like, they didn't want it to be for nothing, so they had to try something. I don't think you're getting 2 1s for McDuffie. Are you going to get a top 10 for McDuffie? I doubt it. Could you get something in the middle of the first round? Probably. And I know that may not excite a lot of Chiefs fans, but I think if there's someone Brett Veach really likes in the middle of the first round, and you can have 2 first-round picks, because right now you only have 6. We'll see with compensatory picks what will happen, like Justin Reed last year. and I think Turk Wharton as well. You might get a couple of compensatory picks, but I think you can get some draft capital from McDuffie as well in a trade. I'd hate to see him go, but I don't think the Chiefs can afford what he might be asking for.
Right. Yeah, and that all plays into it, right? And so it's just it's the price of doing business in the NFL, and the Chiefs aren't the only team faced with these decisions, right? So
Yeah.
fascinating times.
You know what I've always said 15 years ago? These issues did not exist in Kansas City. It's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
And look, let me just say this. I get it. The Chiefs have drafted well. Maybe not the last couple of years, but 2021, I mean, they hit a home run with Creed Humphrey, Nick Bolton, Trey Smith, non-first round picks. And then the year after that, I don't think anyone from 2022 has been an all pro other than McDuffie. But Carl Loftus, yeah, this wasn't a good year for him, but for the most part, he has delivered. Pacheco was great those first 2 years. Those quarterbacks, Jalen Watson, Josh Williams, Brian Cook, the safety, I mean, they've made plays for you. Like Brett Veach can find good talent outside of the first round. We know that. So the fact that the Chiefs have the number 9 pick and possibly they could get something in the middle of the pack for McDuffie, that's good. Here's the other thing. I think the Chiefs have tried, and you were mentioning the money. They've tried way too hard to keep everyone. You can't. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has this big contract. Travis Kelce, you gave him a pay raise. Chris Jones, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Harrison Butker, they are the highest paid players in history at their positions. Yeah. Now, kicker, they don't cost a whole lot, but you're kind of at a point now where every dollar adds up here. You can't make everybody the highest paid player at their position. You just can't. And right now you're $63 million over the cap. Good luck figuring that out.
Yeah, that's that may take some work to cut her down. So that's why, yeah, again, the Trent McDuffie conversations are happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you know what? As long as those guys are there, in Veach and Reed, I don't tend to worry about it. Again, you can't be on the mountaintop forever. I think they do have something here. Because if I look at the AFC West, I mean, we knew Denver was going to be good, but I think they overachieved.
Yeah.
Their offense was, putrid. Basic, like they win a lot of 10-set, a lot of garbage games. The Chargers did improve, but same old Chargers in the playoffs, and the Raiders, well, they're the Raiders. Basically, that's how I see it. And maybe that's a biased opinion, and what have you, but that's what.
Well, let me say this because I know we'll probably get into this a little later on, but Josh Allen had the easiest path to the Super Bowl this year, and he couldn't even make it to the AFC Championship game. And here's my theory. Now, I've always said I think he will win one, and I'm going to stick to that prediction, but it's about to get even harder for Josh Allen because the Patriots are on the rise. The Broncos, I do agree with you. Their offense wasn't as impressive, but they still had the number 1 seed. Who else? The Texans, their defense is amazing. Stroud's got a lot of work to do. I think the Jaguars are just getting started with Liam Cohen. I do. I thought that team was going to fall apart in the second half of the season. Complete opposite. Then you have the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Ravens. They all missed the playoffs. I would argue at the very least 2 of the 3 are going to bounce back and make the playoffs. And then throw in the Bills. All those teams I just mentioned, 8 of them, 9 of them, not all of them can make the playoffs. So if you're Josh Allen, you just missed out on your easiest path to a Super Bowl. Well, it's about to get even harder. And to circle this back to Kansas City's conversation, not only is your division more competitive, the conference is far more competitive than it was 2 years ago. So look, whoever wins the number 1 seed in the regular season, they have earned it. Whoever gets to the AFC Championship game, you've earned it. So, I mean, Kansas City, they've got to hit a home run in this upcoming draft. And in these last 2 drafts, which, listen, the jury's still out on a lot of these guys, you better hope that Eric Bieniemy can get them to develop and make progress. Because you're going to need a lot of those guys because you're going to probably be saying goodbye to a lot of veterans who you cannot afford anymore. You might not have a lot of activity in free agency. So this upcoming draft is going to be really crucial for the Chiefs. So they need to hit a home run here so they can compete in the division and the conference.
Yeah, I think yeah, you definitely raise some good points. I mean, we saw the Jaguars, the up and coming, getting the 3 seed, and then yeah, the Bills went in there and beat them as the 6. And I did think, yeah, it was the easiest path, and yeah, it has become a lot harder. And the AFC West is right now what a lot of people thought it was going to be 3 years ago,
Yeah.
just with Herbert was younger and all this, and just with the coaching, the coaches that are in there and that sort of thing. So yeah, have to hit that home run. 100% agreed. How is generally the mood in Kansas City? I mean, no one's going to the park, and that's soon to change after 2031.
Oh yeah. So, oh boy. The timing. I've got a lot. You got several minutes.
I got time.
Oh,
I got as much time as you want. It's all good.
here, yeah, and I'm good on time, by the way. But
Yeah.
so the timing was really interesting because, and let me just pull up my calendar because this matters here.
Yes.
Um, because they officially made that announcement on the 22nd. That was a Monday, but the word got out on Friday the 19th.
Yes.
So we're kind of going through the entire weekend like, is it true? Is it done? Is it not done? Missouri was like, no, we're still in this because the interim county executive, Phil Lavoda, who's replacing Royals Hall of Famer Frank White, and there were a lot of issues with Frank White, he all of a sudden came out with this surprise press conference on Friday and he goes, yeah, this is not true. They're not going to Kansas. We're keeping them. And then he revealed Operation Save Arrowhead, which only lasted 72 hours. So then Monday rolls around and we were told that there's going to be a big meeting in Topeka. And it didn't take very long. They just had to finalize some things. And all of a sudden, in the hallways on their digital, I don't even know, they have like this weird digital LED board on the walls. All of a sudden, it said Chiefs to Kansas. And so the media started sharing that. And there are a lot of people who thought, listen, give Kansas credit because everyone thought that they were just being used as leverage just so the Chiefs can get what they want from Missouri.
Mhm.
But no, I mean, they were serious players in all of this. Now, here's where things get weird. It's it's not official. And the lieutenant governor, David Tolan, just did an interview 3 days ago saying that they are coming to Kansas, but it's not official. You want to know why I know it's not official? First of all, I've got people on the inside who've told me this.
Yeah.
Second of all, they did not reveal the exact location of where the stadium's going to be. We know the general idea,
Right.
but we don't know exactly where it's going to be. Number two, you didn't see a single renderings. The renderings that you've seen for more than a year now, that was a Kansas rendering. That was like their way of, that was after the House. Um, they voted to approve of the Star Bonds deal. For those who are not aware, Star Bonds deal, that's basically the tax that the state of Kansas uses to fund certain projects. So when there's like some of the popular shopping centers on the Kansas side, they use Star Bonds to create them, as well as some other projects in the Kansas City area on the Kansas side, as well as middle of Kansas, Salina, Kansas, Hutchinson, McPherson. They have some things with their downtown projects that Star Bonds have been used for. But to go back, there's no rendering. So they're going to Kansas. And they had this big celebration, this big press conference with the governor and all these politicians, but there's no information. They don't even know how many seats is going to be. They
Yeah,
said
there's been
60.
guesses. Yeah.
Yeah, they said 60 to 63,000. I pray to God those are preliminary numbers because that's not good. And they keep saying dome, but I am told that the Chiefs want a retractable roof. So that's a little, again, it's weird. Like, we don't have all the details to this. We're told that, listen, here's what I will say. It's not over, but Kansas does have exclusive negotiating rights with the Chiefs. So Missouri can't butt in right now. But Missouri is also like the governor and the mayor of KC. They're sitting here like, hey, we're not giving up on this yet because it's not official.
Right.
It's still a long shot, but it is really weird how they have this press conference, but we don't have a lot of details. The lieutenant governor did say 3 days ago that we should have some details coming out soon. Here's my last point on this. I know I'm going on a tangent here. Um, so after when the season ends, there's usually like a formal press conference after the season. And the Chiefs are kind of weird about this. So there was no press conference last year after the Super Bowl loss, and there was only an Andy Reid Zoom press conference on a Monday. We didn't
Hmm.
hear from Brett Veach. That's extremely odd. We didn't hear from Clark Hunt after the season. Um, because I think Clark Hunt has a lot of questions because there's a lot of confusion about the tax situation and whether or not the state of Kansas can really afford this because this is the biggest project they've had with the Star Bonds. I mean, I don't know if the Kansas City Royals even want to come to Kansas right now, seeing all the details that are coming out. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of confusion and a lot of lack of
That's absolutely fascinating to me. I mean, I think of the state of Missouri, right? You had, the Rams leave, the Cardinals leave.
Yeah.
It's just, this whole, again, it's just on the other state. The Rams went to LA, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's just
That
it's very,
matters to people
yeah.
for some reason, not to me. Listen, I know I know you're Canadian, and I've always made this joke like, do people from Vancouver mock and make fun of the people from Newfoundland? Like I don't understand. Like, as a naturalized American citizen from the Middle East,
Mhm.
like, how are we in war with ourselves over? Like, listen, are there certain places that are safe and not safe? Yes, on the Kansas and the Missouri side, and everywhere across the United States of America, and I'm sure in your neck of the woods as well.
Yes.
But people are always like, "Oh, I don't want to go to Kansas. That place sucks." Okay, why does it suck? Other than you don't like it for not living there. But that's just childish stuff, man. I don't believe in any of that. Um, what I will say is, I think a lot of people are heartbroken because there's nothing fascinating about Arrowhead, the building itself.
Hmm.
It's the atmosphere. Listen, I'll say this: atmospheres can be created anywhere, but I also understand the emotional attachment. Like, I have memories of my dad taking me to the no punt game back in '03, technically January of '04. I have memories of my parents taking my brother and I to Royals baseball games. And, I made memories myself. Once I grew up, got a car, able to go on my own, go with friends, whatnot. A lot of memories there. So, yeah, it is sad to see it go. Some people are threatening their fandom over this. Okay. All right. It's funny. Somebody tweeted me, and I normally don't click on profiles, but I clicked on it and it said, no longer a Chiefs fan as of December 22nd, 2025. I'm like, okay, sure, bud. Listen, if the Chiefs are still playing at a high level by 2031,
Right.
people are going to be fans. Now,
Yes.
are ticket prices about to be expensive? Yeah. They've been expensive for a while because they're winning so much. Ticket prices have gone up. I saw several people, and I don't know how many people that have season tickets. I saw a few people on their social media complain about the price of season tickets going up drastically after a losing season. Listen, we're in a world where the price of everything goes up. So
Right.
by 2031, even if you stayed at Arrowhead,
Yeah.
ticket prices were going to be off the roof, especially if the Chiefs are still good at the time. We don't know what's going to happen in 5 years. It's a long ways away. So it's going to be interesting. Look, I think it'll be all worth it if they can bring in big events like even if it's just one Super Bowl, Final Fours. I think you can get a college bowl game. I think you can get the Big 12 championship. I think you can get other events, wrestling events.
Right.
But they've got to be very aggressive about it to make it happen. Otherwise, this would all be for nothing. I will say this in my last comment on this. Um, we got to be honest about something here. As much as we all love Arrowhead, it is old. It's the fourth oldest stadium in the NFL. It opened in 73, I think, 1973. Um, it's getting old. You could only renovate for so long. They've already had two major renovations before. So, It's time. I know not everyone wants to hear that, but truth be told, it is time, especially with a lot of teams getting new and indoor stadiums. Most of them are indoor stadiums. I know the Bills have an outdoor stadium coming up soon, but this is going to be a new trend now. If people want to argue football should be played outdoors, okay, fine. Have that stance all you want. We're getting more and more indoor stadiums every year now, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. I mean, people do like the weather and all of that playing into it, sure. But to have, the purest form, to have it indoors, showing off the skill and everything else, then you wouldn't have the wild card game between the Dolphins and the Chiefs where people were getting their limbs amputated, apparently. Uh,
Listen, listen. When I was in Vegas for that game a few weeks ago, someone mentioned that it was raining outside. I'll tell you right now, I do not like cold weather. I do not like being outside in the rain. When it's freezing, I think we're about to get heavy snow this weekend.
mhm.
I know what I'm doing. I'm going to make sure I got my eggs and milk, and I'm going to stay indoors
Yeah,
for the whole weekend.
right.
Uh, I'll tell you right now, who the person that told me it was raining outside during the game, I was so glad to be at an indoor stadium. I'll tell you that right now.
That's good. You mentioned of not being a fan, like I know with our
Yeah.
Bombers here with the old stadium and 50 years old, it's time to move on. Some people were like, "No, I'm not going to the new stadium. I can't find a place to park. It takes me forever."
Yeah.
Like I figured it out. I know exactly where to park. I know the tailgate. It's easy, and I'm actually home quicker, and I live outside of the city than people in the city. So you just got to find a way. And truth be told, years ago when the Bombers were at their original stadium, there were tons of people complaining about it. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, you just got to figure it out, and it'll all be good. And I know again in the NFL, it's always about the new and improved, and um, yeah, as you say, Arrowhead is old, and you mentioned those ticket prices. I know what we paid 2 years ago, and I looked on StubHub when they played the Chargers again just a few months ago. Basically, where we sat, they were selling for about 60, I think $62 Canadian. So I had a good chuckle compared to the 400, but it was
Yeah.
totally worth it.
Yeah. No, man. I mean, listen. When you go to Arrowhead, you don't go there because of the structure. I mean, you go there for the atmosphere, and you all obviously know that. Um, because here's the thing. I remember in college, a friend of mine and his girlfriend were going to the game, and they were like, "Yeah, we tailgated, and we didn't go until the middle of the first quarter." I'm like, "What?" Like, part of the Arrowhead experience is to be inside that building for the national anthem. You're not there. Like you miss. That's like bigger than the game, man.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, listen, the Arrowhead experience, yeah, it's gonna be different. No spiral ramps to do the tomahawk chop while people are banging on the walls while they're leaving. Yeah, it's gonna be different. I'm excited, but I'm also sad to see Arrowhead go.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of gets me. As you say, the Arrowhead go, and I mean whether they cross that bridge in Green Bay with Lambeau Field eventually, I'm sure that time's gonna come too. So
Oh yeah.
if you ain't changing, you're not moving, as they say.
I got a question for you.
Mhm.
I know we kind of talked about this earlier, but from a Canadian's perspective, like, what is your opinion on this Kansas versus Missouri battle war, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, I know there would be nothing really between Manitoba and Saskatchewan. I know when they want to build a highway into Ontario, that's a bit, who's going to fund which part. So it's, the enemy lines, so to speak, or the dividing lines, not the dividing lines become unique and very intriguing in that regard, and just kind of all the legalities that kind of take place with that. And, you know, again, just reading the clips and that sort of thing. It is, it is a fascinating journey, and when people don't really want to give and that sort of thing, it definitely, yeah, it is kind of a soap opera developing.
I was just curious because I mean, I don't know how it is with other states and border lines. I don't know. It's just weird to me. I'll never understand it.
Yeah, it's well, I mean there are a few other things that I am thinking about. Maybe the pipeline in Alberta, but that's more. I would try to keep it sports focused, but
Fair
I know
enough.
I know these things become political in their nature, and
Yeah.
um, even with our event center here in town that just came to be, it was like, well, it's just for the junior hockey team. Well, we just had the Grand Slam of curling. Schuster was here from the U.S. Was the second highest attended Grand Slam of curling ever. You can
Oh,
and
hell yeah.
from all over moving like that came here. We don't have hotels. I met two ladies, and she's a Bomber fan. I said, "Well, you come stay at my place. You can stay at my podcast for the kind of chuckle." Just like there's, but it brings in all of that. It brings in money to the restaurants, hotels, and it's way bigger than our junior hockey team. And so, from that perspective, I always tell people in Steinbach that day we ain't in Kansas anymore, Toto. So
Yeah, there you go.
right, and it's about being progressive, and and that's just one example, right? So these things are fascinating in their nature for sure.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward, I guess, to this weekend. Sunday, we have the Broncos and the Patriots. What is old again is new again. It's the second time I've said that, but I feel like this happened 10 years ago. Oh, yeah, it did. Eh, we'll see
Yeah.
if the reps Doug Peterson gave Jared Stidham will help. I think that was the game they played against the Giants in 2023-ish. And then I think this is gonna be the game of the probably the year. Rams and Seahawks. We all know what happened on the Thursday night with the two-minute
Yeah.
version at the end. How do you see this playing out?
Patriots Broncos. Yeah, that's going to be interesting with Bo Nix out, but and you alluded to this earlier. I mean, their offense wasn't really all that impressive. So, yeah, look, listen, credit to him because he had a really good game,
Mhm.
but I still think at the end of the day, like your moneymaker is that defense,
Yeah.
leading the league in sacks by a wide margin. Now, let's not disrespect New England's defense either. That is criminally underrated. And I know CJ Stroud uh, wasn't all that impressive. And who they play in the wild card round? I think it was the Chargers holding them 3 points. Yeah, it was the
Yeah,
Chargers.
the 16-3 game.
Yeah. So I get it. You're not playing a lot of impressive offenses. I mean, the Chargers don't have an offensive line, and the Broncos right now are about to be without a quarterback. CJ Stroud has been bad this postseason, or was bad because he's not in now. But uh, I think New England will pull away. I keep saying this about every AFC game. And I'm going to stick to it. I think this is going to be low scoring. The other AFC games weren't really low scoring like I thought they were going to be last weekend,
Yeah.
but I'm going to stick to it because Denver's just had a lot of these kinds of games where there's not a lot of points scored, but they found a way to come through. But I think in the end, like whenever there's a low scoring game, my theory is who do you trust? Which quarterback do you trust the most to pull through? Because eventually, one quarterback will take advantage of the opposing defense that's too tired of constantly having to come up with stops. And I think Drake May, I trust him way more than whether it's Bo Nix or Jared Stidham. So I'm going Patriots on that one. Rams Seahawks, oh dude, you said it. This might be the game of the year. Um, I think the Rams won the first meeting by 2, and I think the Seahawks won the second meeting on that Thursday night game by 3. Man, this is one of those like I don't have a strong rooting interest, so
Mhm.
being from the outside, I get their division rivals, but I like both teams and their stories. Like I love Matthew Stafford and what he's had to overcome, leaving Detroit and finally finding success and probably gonna be the league MVP. It's either gonna be him or Drake May. I think it's gonna be Stafford. And then you have Sam Darnold, who was great last year with Minnesota. And people wondered, can he actually continue that? Well, he goes to Seattle, signs that contract, and what do you know? Another 14 win season for Sam Darnold. And that Seahawks offense has been dynamic. I don't not as dynamic as the Rams, but man, they're a lot of fun to watch. Sam Darnold finds a way to make plays. And I'm excited for that NFC with Caleb Williams, Sam Darnold for years to come. I know it's not as crowded as the AFC, like we mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm glad Sam Darnold's getting an opportunity. Sometimes you just need that second chance or third chance in his case, maybe. Um, this is going to be a shootout. I can see I see the over under is 47.5. Yeah, I'll take the over on that one. I think the Rams win this one. Well, I take that back. I don't know. See, before the playoffs, this was my NFC title game, and I said Seahawks. Man, I don't know. You know what? I'll go Seahawks because that was my pre-playoff pick. So I'll stick with that because I think Sam Darnold is underrated, but this is going to come down to the wire. It will be on the literal final play, I think.
Okay. Yeah,
Who do
it's
you got?
I'll go with the Rams. I like what Seattle's doing. Did we take them serious as the number one seed? Did we take Denver as the number one seed? But both number one seeds are hosting their games. So
Yeah.
what's a bit of a concern is the Seahawks. Their running back is now out for the season.
Oh, that's
He
good.
had
That's a
the
good
knee
point.
injury, right?
Yeah,
So
I forgot about that.
that plays into that. But then you have, maybe it's the Cooper Cup revenge game. Uh,
Yeah.
right. So, Devontae Adams has been a beast for the Rams. But yeah, I think it's going to be I think it'll be like a 3-point game. Eh, in my opinion, it should have been the Bears. I mean, if Ben Johnson, if he would have just not been having, you know, um, from his Detroit days, his
You know what's so
gambling. Just
you know
take
what's
just
so
take the
interesting about
points.
that?
Just take
I
the
th- I
points.
I said this on my podcast. I think teams are way too aggressive, and I know in these games when you listen to the announcers and they have the graphic there on the screen, they're like, "Oh, analytics, it tells you to go for it."
Garbage.
And then you see this a lot with teams going for two after a
Mhm.
touchdown and they fail.
Yeah.
It's like take the points because how many points did you lose by? Three. You could have made six in the regulation.
Yeah.
So I do agree with you. Like I think teams are way too aggressive. Like dial it back a bit. Take the points. It's the playoffs.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah, and you mentioned you were referring to Dan Campbell.
Campbell,
I
yeah.
would even
Yeah.
argue like
Speak
the
up.
Chiefs were oddly aggressive in some games this year on fourth down. I think they went for it more than any other team. They were either first or second. But yeah, man, like trust your defense a little bit. Go put up a field goal. I know there's nothing exciting about a field goal unless it's the game-winning field goal, but points are points, man. You can't leave points on the scoreboard, and they left six when they lost by three.
Yep. That's exactly it. So I mean, and we all know how the NFL's kind of changed, and as you say, the analytics and yeah, as you say, coaches kind of get from the Sean McVay tree or whatever else, and it's like, no, take it and be done with it. Because I guarantee you, if the Bears take that field goal on that opening drive instead of going for fourth down, it's probably a different game, as you say. Like it
Yeah.
just and now again, we saw Seattle go for two versus the Rams on the Thursday night game. And that's probably why they have the number one seed. So, but everybody is thinks they're playing in Vegas and gambling all the time. But that's how the NFL has changed over the years. I never, when I grew up, there was never all this gambling. It was very
Yeah.
conservative, and yeah, I don't know. Like there
Yeah.
is no tomorrow. This is not a best of seven, right? This is not a best of five, right?
Yeah. No, I remember when sports gambling was viewed as taboo. You know, you do online gambling. Oh, you must not be good with your money. And now it's like it's a thing. It's out there. I mean, listen, I'm sponsored by DraftKings, so and I put out I guess a controversial post. Do you know who Dave Ramsey is?
Yes, I do.
So I listen to his program from time to time.
Yeah.
It's actually very fascinating the things that people call in about.
Hmm.
And he kind of went on a rant lashing out at sports books and how they make all this money, they have all this advertising because people get addicted. And look, I'm not going to pretend to be some expert on addiction, but here's what I will tell you. They do have a legal disclaimer telling you, hey, this is this is what we are offering, but we also want to let you know, hey, don't over gamble. I don't remember what sports book it was in Vegas, but they had like a little brochure and it tells you on the back of it, it's like, hey, don't spend too much money on this. This is meant to be fun. Now are these companies legally required to put that disclaimer? Yeah, but at least they're doing it. No one's forcing anybody to over gamble. I remember on 60 Minutes on CBS, they did a great piece on sports gambling, and they even mentioned like people will wake up in the middle of the night, check an online sports book, and just bet on something. They'll bet on like these preliminary tennis matches with guys they've never heard of, but they'll bet on it because someone's got these great plus 700 odds.
Hmm.
Here's my thing. Like, I'll only bet $1 if I'm really confident in a bet. I'll put five,
Yeah.
nothing really more than that. And I think that's the best way to go about it. Um, for the Super Bowl, I might do a couple of like $1 bets. I think that's the right way to go about it. And listen, if you do have an addiction with it, there are resources out there, and you hear it on all these disclaimers. So take advantage of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's all within reason. It's just like, the cigarettes, there's disclaimers, right? So,
Yeah.
you can have a little bit of fun. I've had Super Bowl parties where I have one guy watching, well, okay, well, this happened. I still need this to happen. So we'll hope for the second quarter. And, it makes it intriguing to watch.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we're gonna have a rematch of Super Bowl 49?
Yeah. Yeah. Was it Super Bowl 49?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Dude, I could not believe that ending.
Yes. Yeah, 28-20.
That, yeah. You have like the best short yardage running back in NFL history.
Hmm.
Oh man, and you could have gone back to back. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. I forgot about that.
It's wild because Luke Wilson, he now works for TSN up here in Canada, and he was
Yeah.
he was at the Grey Cup here in Winnipeg, and I had some opportunities to go into Winnipeg that week, but it never really happened. We got into the stadium, and he was right there, and I was going to like kind of pick his brain a bit and maybe try to get him on the pod, but that didn't happen. But it's like, but he talks. There was a play in that Grey Cup, and he talked about that play, and he goes, "You just never get over it."
Yeah. Yeah, there are like look at the Falcons. I guarantee you Matt Ryan is not over that big blown lead, the 20 what was it, 25 points. The Chiefs had a 28-point blown lead in against the Colts several years ago. Like there are just some of those moments that stick with you forever. Hell, I remember in seventh grade, with like 10 seconds left, I was a terrible free throw shooter. And with just a few seconds left, I had a chance to just sink one with the game tied, and I couldn't make either one. That still sticks with me, damn it. Like,
Hmm.
you never get over that.
No, no, it's and I keep referring to it. I know it's a different sport, but I haven't watched the highlights of the bottom of the ninth of the Jays. I just can't do it.
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
I can't I can't bring myself to it. It was awful.
When those two outfielders collided,
Hmm.
I'm like, it's over.
Yeah,
And then he has the ball in his hand. I'm like, whoa.
yeah.
All right, let's go.
Well, and the thing is that Roberts took Tommy Evans out for defensive replacement and put that guy in who bats in the number 9 position or whatever else in the previous games, and you just
Uh,
yeah. I mean, I talked to a guy who was fifth Roby on the third baseline, and he goes, "Yeah, you thought it was done," and I still can't believe he caught the ball.
was Game 7 in Toronto or was it in LA?
It was in Toronto. It's 2-3,
Oh,
2-4.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So
Damn.
Yeah, that was a rough day. The Bombers lost, and then the Jays
Well,
lost, and
do you remember the 2015 World or no, not 2015, 2014 World Series when it was the Royals and Giants in Game 7
I
and
do
Alex
Madison
Gordon?
Baumgartner, and yeah,
Yeah, Alex Gordon hit that triple,
yeah.
but he was jogging in the beginning because he didn't think the outfielder was going to fumble 3 times.
Hmm.
So when he realizes the outfielder can't get a handle on the ball, he starts sprinting for his life. And it's always weird, depending on the outcome. And unfortunately, the next batter, Salvador Perez, struck out. Um, for like years, the conversation was, should they have just sent him home for an indoor inside the park home run? I'm like, and you know what's really funny?
Hmm.
There's a college and a high school named Rockhurst. Um, I think it was the high school baseball team Rockhurst. They all had GoPro cameras and they recreated that moment and they had it so the batter goes home each time. And they were like trying to do this thing like the probability of would it work or not. And I think out of 5 times, only 1 time it worked. I'm like, are we really doing this? We're going to a high school baseball team to see whether or not we should have done that. Like, I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean the redemption came the year after when they beat the Mets in 5 games,
Yeah.
and you guys got Ben Zobrist at the trade deadline. So
Oh yeah, that was huge. And then he became the MVP the following year with the Cubs.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's
so
right.
fun fact, I used to be the stadium DJ for the Kansas City Royals. I started in 2015. And I remember when Zobrist came to the Royals, everyone tells you what their walk-up songs are going to be.
Hmm.
And if they don't tell you, you just pick something upbeat, exciting. And his walk-up song was his wife's music. And I just felt bad for him because I'm sure you've heard, or I don't know if you have, of his divorce and the disloyalty, whatever happened. I'm like, oh shit. Like I felt so bad for him. Because I remember seeing pictures, people were lining up outside of his house in Chicago for autographs the
Hmm.
day after that World Series. I'm like, that's cool, but that's also really creepy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, he was definitely a gamer, but yeah, that's unique and a very unique fact. I'll just
Yeah.
say that. It's wild. Yeah, that was quite something, right? First championship since '85, right? And
Yeah, and that's so. See, if you told me that the Royals were going to win a World Series before the Royals would win a second World Series before the Chiefs got their second Super Bowl, I would have never believed you. Like, because
yeah,
unfortunately, after that World Series, the Royals regressed, and they did have a nice little playoff run a couple years ago. The year after, I can't remember which year
yeah,
exactly, but
they should have beat the Yankees.
yeah, that one they swept the Ravens or not the Ravens, the Orioles. I got my sports mixed up.
Yeah, no worries.
Um, yeah, it's unfortunate. Like I love Kauffman Stadium, and I love going to Royals games. Um, but nobody goes to Royals games because they want to see the team win. Like unfortunately, the team just isn't good.
Hmm.
And I've always believed, historically speaking, bad teams just stay bad. They
Yeah,
might be good for a tiny bit, and then good teams always find a way to become good. Even when they have a bad run, they'll find a way to come back to the top again. So, um, yeah, I'm just glad I got to see the Royals have that run at least once in my life because the city was just insane. And even for a couple of years, like that World Series hangover, that stuck around for a couple of years with the baseball team. So that was nice to see.
yeah. I mean, I mean, there's George Brett. Uh, Bridge just as you come into Kaufman, if I'm remembering correctly,
Yeah, I think you're right.
and he was part of that team and everything else. So, yeah, and again, their future is kind of up in the air we've kind of alluded to here.
Yeah.
So, again, interesting. Good, good.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that I haven't covered that you'd like to talk about? That's maybe we close here, but that's all good.
No, man. I mean, I think, it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Chiefs. I think it's obvious what they might do to try to reduce their issues on the salary cap. I'm eager to see, like, we lost a lot of players last year in free agency like Justin Reed,
Yeah.
Turk Wharton, and you're about to lose some guys on the secondary. I'm a little nervous for that defense next year. You just got to hope that the young guys come through in the draft. That's what's really needed. But listen, man, as long as long as you have Patrick Mahomes, who should come back in some point in September, you have Andy Reid and now Eric Bieniemy. I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine. I expect the Chiefs to bet on them to win the Super Bowl right now. Can't say that right now for a fact, but I
Mhm.
would bet on them for sure to make the playoffs next year for sure.
I like that thinking, and yeah, with Mahomes, I've heard the rehab is going well, so that's all good. And
Yeah.
as you say, I don't think that run is over by any means, and as long as those guys are there, we say that in Winnipeg, as long as those Shays with the Bombers, we're in good hands here. So, um, yeah, I mean, look, three Super Bowls in whatever it was, 6 years. It's a good run, and the
Yeah.
cheap haters they can come at us, but you know what? Last time I checked, other teams haven't had that success. So
Yeah, like man, if you told me 10 years ago that this team was going to win 3 Super Bowls in the span of 7 years and go to 7 straight AFC championship, I would have said you're insane. That doesn't happen in Kansas City. Um, that's why, like, when Patrick Mahomes threw that second interception in the Super Bowl last year against the Eagles, I was like, it's over. I even said on my social media, I'm like, it's over. They're about to go up 24-0. And I was at peace with it right away too. Like, yeah, it would have been so great to three-peat, but they've won three. Like,
yeah,
they have 4 Super Bowls all time. That's, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's top 5 or 6. I think they're tied with the Packers. So, you know, you can't win them all.
no,
Um, and listen, who knows what is going to happen the next 5 years? But man, I can at least say, man, I got to enjoy 3 Super Bowl wins and 5 Super Bowl appearances. Like, I'll tell you this quickly. I know we're going long, but
it's all good.
I remember years ago, I would watch like the pregame show the day of the Super Bowl, and I see like fans from both teams. They're excited. They're into it. They're showing the bus of them leaving the hotel and coming to the stadium. I'm like, man, when is that going to be the Chiefs?
Yeah,
And I'm like, you know what else pissed me off? Every other team that held up the Lamar Hunt trophy. I'm like, no, that's our trophy, okay?
right.
Our founder's name is on that. And finally, like, I still remember 2018 when the Patriots came for the AFC Championship game. There's a picture of Justin Houston in his press conference. He's looking right at that trophy. And I'm like, damn, I don't know if that trophy has ever been present in Kansas City before. Like this is kind of like it's exciting, but it's also weird.
Yeah.
Like I never thought this day would come. So yeah, man, we finally got to experience all of that. So it's been a good run. I do agree it's not over. In the event that it somehow is, man, I can at least say I got to experience all that crazy success in 7 years, and there are already documentaries about it, and I'm sure there'll be more down the line in the future.
I mean, yeah, you have Hallmark making movies, and
Yeah,
you're in the stadium, like, okay, yeah, my seats were over there for that game. Like, it just, it
the,
really, it is wild. Again, all the other stuff that's going on with the podcast with the Kelsey brothers, so with New
yeah.
Heights, my wife goes, yeah, I heard this from them and that sort of thing, and it's with the Chiefs going to this Super Bowl last year, they were the first team to ever get to a third Super Bowl, right? Not even the Cowboys or 49ers did that. To go
Wait, say that again. They were the first team to go to 3 straight.
yeah, to win the first two and then to go to the third one to have an
Oh,
opportunity.
okay. That part is correct. I was going to say
Yeah.
the Bills went to 4 straight. The
Yes, they did.
Patriots went to 3 straight, but the middle Super Bowl they lost to the Eagles. The Eagles prevented 2 3-peats.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wild.
By the way, to add to all the excitement over the last 7 years, like I grew up a big WWE fan, and I still watch it occasionally from time to time. It's like Patrick Mahomes was part of the WWE event, like he was a part of the show, and not only that, like there's a documentary on a bank robber who was stealing money just to attend Chiefs games front row. Like that's how crazy this run has been.
Yeah,
Have you seen that, by the way?
I've seen pieces. I've seen pieces of it. I
It's
just know about the
fascinating.
four guys from Winnipeg that have the season tickets, and I met a mother and daughter that bought tickets at the 50-yard line for the game, and from Sault Ste. Marie there. So
Oh, okay.
you meet people from literally all over the states and all over the continent. Honestly, when you're in that parking lot, I met a guy from Utah. It's just people from Iowa. It's like he's telling me about. Oh, who he was telling me about Brock Heward. It was just wild.
Oh yeah. Oh, Brock Heward, man.
Yeah, I mean, going way.
Um, I had I had Damon on. Brock Heward is in Madden, right?
I in Madden.
One of the recent Maddens, I thought, as a commentator.
Okay, possibly yes.
Okay, yeah, because I had his brother Damon who played for the
Yeah,
Chiefs
right,
last year. We
right.
talked about that. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's there is something about Kansas City being at the center of America. They all kind of congregate there. That's right.
yeah,
That's good.
exactly.
Yeah. Right on. So yeah, the plan, I can't wait till the schedule comes out. I've already asked my kid which game they want to attend. My daughter says the 49ers. I think my son will agree. So hopefully it'll be the Chiefs and 49ers in this calendar year. And yeah, I mean, be awesome to connect in person when I'm down there, but we'll see where that journey takes us.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, I usually don't do like meet and greets and stuff like that,
Yeah, yeah.
but I've always told people like if you see me out and about, say hi, say what's up, don't be weird. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
no
man.
worries. You're talking to a guy who met Keith Morrison on Fifth Avenue in New York once. So I said, Keith Morrison. Yeah. Hey,
You know
nice
what's
to
really
meet you.
funny
Yeah.
is I'll like because with my following and all, which I'm greatly appreciative of, I'll get recognized at like Royals games and Chiefs games by a couple people. You mentioned earlier that I was on the field
Hmm.
and there was someone next to me who says he follows me on social media and asked for a picture. I'm like, yeah, man, of course.
Yeah.
And he was next to me the whole time, and he like knew everybody. He knew the assistant coaches. He knew Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy went over to talk to him for like 2 minutes. I'm like, oh shit, Matt Nagy's next to me, and I've been talking a lot of shit about him this year. All right, this is interesting. And then uh people who are sitting front row are like shouting my name. I'm like, hello? Not weird at all for people to shout your name while you're on the field. So but I'll go to Comic Con. I've been like into Comic Cons. That's how I have these two masks. They're both signed.
Hmm.
This one by CJ Graham, the other one by Kane Hodder. Yeah, Kane Hodder signed this one here. I'm like fascinated and like obsessed with Comic Cons now. But my brother and I went to the big Comic Con event in Kansas City, Planet Comic Con last March. I got recognized by so many people there. I'm like, wow, I get recognized more at Comic Cons than I do at sporting events. That's not weird at all. At one point, my brother and I, we were just in line waiting and talking. This guy next to me goes, your voice sounds familiar. I'm like, yeah. He's like, are you the guy who does those football videos on Facebook? I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy who does football videos on Facebook. Yeah. Here's another funny quick story, and then I'll stop talking. We were watching the Kansas Jayhawks at one of the sports books in Vegas when we were there a few weeks ago, and KU lost, and we're pissed off. And so my brother, he steps away just to use the restroom. So I'm just in the casino chilling, waiting for him. And I see this guy next to me. He keeps looking over at me. And, I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, okay, he knows who I am. It's like, don't be weird about it. Just say something.
Right.
Stop looking at me,
Yeah,
please,
yeah, yeah,
because that's weird as hell.
yeah, for sure. You're you're just a guy in Vegas having a good time, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's cool though. I don't mind people coming up saying hi and whatnot.
mhm.
Um, it is weird to get recognized at like grocery stores from time to time, but hey, comes with the territory and nothing but love for people who support me. So it's always appreciated.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I echo those sentiments as well. So,
Yeah.
pictures at Bomber games, Grand Slam of curling, the one week when it was here, they gave chips and then to the row behind us, and then my son asked for chips, and then a lady on my page, Vicky, she inboxes me. snack stealer. I'm like, I can't. You're just across. I said my son asked for that, not me. So you know the eyes are watching it.
Yeah.
You
There
know
you go, man.
when you work in a public job and when you're online, even at the bank the other day, they're like, "Oh, I heard a late night Smitty." Oh, okay, all
Yeah,
right, here we go.
when I used to work on the radio, even like I remember one of the producers was buying. I can't remember if he was buying or renting a car. I think he was renting. Um, but the person he was like, signing the paperwork with, he's like, "Oh wait, I know you," because he saw the radio station's logo on his jacket. He's like, "Yeah, I listen to you guys." So yeah, man, like even like the behind the scenes people, like producers, get recognized. It's crazy, man. It's a small world.
Yeah, it is definitely a small world. Good, good. Well, thanks so much for coming on and taking the time, Farzan. I really do appreciate it and enjoy the games this weekend. I do enjoy following your posts, and if I like some of your, I remember after the Chiefs Eagles game, I liked your video there with an ink, but I was so mad after that game. So it wasn't against you, it was against I was like, so I was like, I better clarify that. I don't know it's a few months later, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, enjoy the games. I know you will, and I appreciate your content as always. And I'll put this on YouTube after. I'll put this on the page, and yeah, thanks for your support as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I appreciate you supporting me, and thanks for having me back on the podcast. We
Yeah,
should do this again.
yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely do it again, and we'll go from there. God bless.
All right, man. Thanks,
Yeah,
Steve.
thanks. All right.